Top 10 billion-dollar companies in 2022. In this video, you are going to see 10 billion-dollar companies that started in garages. Welcome back to Griffin Luxury, taking you to the most luxurious knowledge, wits, and people. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. You're probably wondering how these businesses managed to amass such a large fortune. Well, the answer is simple. They started from scratch and grew their businesses organically. Many of them bootstrapped their way to the top, and you can too if you have the drive and determination. So without further ado, let's get into it. When we think of the most successful firms in the world, we have this image of them having large, great big offices and workers right from the start, when in reality, the majority of firms begin in the founder's bedroom or home garage. Isn't that insane, but yet motivating to think about? The reality that some of the world's most successful and valuable businesses began in a garage. Most of us have access to something comparable in a room that is so little and unimportant. The garage metaphor is powerful and evocative of the entrepreneurial phenomena. The term garage conjures up images of bootstrapped vitality and success. So much so that Garage Technology Ventures, a renowned Silicon Valley venture capital company led by co-founder Guy Kawasaki, has been named after it. While the startup garage culture is considerably more prevalent in the United States, many European and Japanese behemoths may also trace their roots back to such modest quarters. Surprisingly, even India, a country with few garages to begin with, has its own garage narrative. On our first garage starter company, here is Microsoft. Bill Gates and Paul Allen launched Microsoft in 1975, using a modest garage as their office and little resources to assist them. They were able to license the first operating system they created for roughly $80,000, says Wealthy Gorilla. In addition to this, they moved on to more complicated software initiatives, which is when Windows was developed. Microsoft is always evolving and releasing new and intriguing products. Bill Gates' net worth is currently projected to be almost $100 billion, making him the world's second richest person. Coming right after that is Amazon. Jeff Bezos launched Amazon.com in 1994, and it began as a modest online retailer. He was working out of his own garage in Bellevue, Washington when he created Amazon. Moreover, Jeff is a billionaire, one of the world's wealthiest men, and who better to turn to for sound business guidance than him? The net worth of Jeff Bezos is now estimated to be $135.5 billion. It wasn't until a year later that he was finally able to sell his first book. However, the company quickly grew and is today the world's largest internet retailer. Next garage starter is Apple. We all know what this is. According to Wealthy Gorilla, here is how it all started. Apple computers began in 1976 by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, making a sale of 50 units of Wozniak's Apple I to a local retailer. Jobs ordered all the parts for the computers, and they built all 50 in just 30 days with the help of their small team. They slowly increased their technology and introduced new systems, and Apple has now become the largest and most valuable technology company in the world. Although Steve Jobs is no longer with us, he helped transform the world, and his legacy lives on through the success of Apple. Next on the list is what we're all familiar with, Google. Google was founded in 1998 by Larry Page and Sergey Brin in a garage in California, lent to them by Susan Wojcicki. It took them 5 months to establish Google, after which they claimed it was taking up too much of their time and attempted to sell it to the firm to excite for a pittance of $1 million. Google is currently believed to be worth $350 billion, which is really fantastic. Larry Page and Sergey Brin are two of the world's wealthiest persons, with net worth of more than $30 billion as of 2017, according to Wealthy Gorilla. Up next is Disney, although it may not seem like it is rooted from the garage. In 1923, Walt Disney, his brother Roy, and their uncle Robert began making Alice Wonderland comedy in Robert's garage. It's incredible how far they've gone since then. They're now the world's highest earning media company. Now, who among our viewers know what HP means? Leave it down in the comment box. Okay, we're leaving you 5 seconds before we reveal what HP means. As unlikely as it may seem, it also started as a small technology club. Counting 5, counting 4, counting 3, 2, and 1. Time's up! Let's check out Hewlett-Packard, also known as HP. HP began in 1939 as a tiny technological club named Silicon Valley, created by Bill Hewlett and Dave Packard. They began up with only $538 to invest, which was worth a lot more back then than it is today, and they sold a wide range of things. Hewlett-Packard then began to focus more on the technology industry, and it was able to become the success that it is today, one of the largest computer corporations in the world. Next up is Dell. Wealthy Gorilla says Michael Dell is another famous entrepreneur who dropped out of college. He started building computers custom-built to order back in 1984 in his garage. It was then only 1 year after this that he decided it was time to drop out of college and moved to North Austin to expand the company from his own office, which he was able to obtain through his first-year profit. Dell has now become one of the market's strongest rivals as well as one of the highest grossing, making Michael's perseverance and risk-taking worthwhile. Next is Mattel. Mattel was formed in 1969 in a garage in Southern California. The creators, Harold Matson and Elliot Handler, built doll houses out of picture frame scrape. The doll houses were so successful that they outsold their picture frames, so they shifted their focus to the toy market. Mattel Inc. is the world's highest grossing toy company. Right after the toy makers, we proceed to motorbikes. Here is Harley Davidson. Have you ever desired a Harley? We all wanted one. In 1901, William S. Harley devised ideas for a tiny engine to power a bicycle. William's buddy, Arthur Davidson, collaborated with him to make these motorcycles in a tiny woodshed near Milwaukee, Wisconsin, says Wealthy Gorilla. Harley Davidson was created in 1903, and now every motorcycle lover wants their own Harley. Now on to the last riser from the garage. From motorbikes, we are now going to racing cars. Here is Lotus. Lotus Cars was formed in 1948 by Anthony Colin Bruce Chapman, who started by making his first Lotus vehicle in a stable adjacent to the Railway Hotel in Hornsey, London. Chapman began building Lotus vehicles when he was just 20 years old, and they are today highly popular sports cars and competitive racing cars. Organizations that seek profits by delivering goods or services in return for money are referred to as businesses. Businesses, on the other hand, do not have to make a profit in order to be deemed a company. The pursuit of profit by itself qualifies an entity as a business. All businesses went to peak into the mud and back to the peak. It's a cycle. It's a never-ending cycle. When we think of the world's largest corporations, we see massive office premises and wealthy founders. What we don't realize is that these firms were not always so large, and the founders were not always so wealthy. They too began someplace, and you might be astonished to learn that some of the world's largest corporations had some of the most basic beginnings. Folks who are today known as billionaires were formerly normal, ordinary people. Their passion and motivations to develop something significant was what set them apart from the crowd, even if it meant beginning small at first. In this list, we looked at some of the world's most successful businesses that began in garages. You can be next on the list too. Lack of space will never be an excuse now. That sums up our video today here at Griffin Luxury. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and the tiny bell for updates. We'll catch you again next time.